How's it going? This is Joe and Tell, and right now we're gonna just do this live thing and check out some products from Onkyo. And I haven't reviewed an Onkyo product. Actually, I've never reviewed an Onkyo product. I've had some, but they have some new AVRs, the TX-RZ50 and the TX-NR7100. I mean, hold on a second. Their stuff has always been TX something. If I remember correctly, all their old stuff had that. Yeah, just trying something new right now. I don't even know if this is even working. I know we do a live stream every Monday on the Daily Hi-Fi podcast, but this time I'm trying something a little different in that I'm streaming directly to YouTube. Have no idea if it works. Have no idea if it's choppy or if there's any issues. You guys are the ones to let me know. So anyway, I figured I'll try this out, test this out, but in the meantime, maybe do something a little bit useful here in looking at this AVR, because this is interesting. All right, so, can you guys see this? Yeah. So yeah, TX-RZ50, and what is that? $13.99. So that's a more expensive one. Then they have the TX-NR7100 9.2 channel THX for $10.99. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Okay, so it says Onkyo making a comeback. Kale Media says it works. It's smooth live. All right, smooth. That's good. Good to know, because my internet's not very good here, so forgive me if there's some dropouts. But yeah, let's take a look at some of this stuff together. I'm just trying to look for the ones with DIRAC. So this one here does not have DIRAC, and I'm pretty sure that if it did, let me just double check. If it did, I'm sure that they're gonna say it. Yeah, this probably has their auto EQ. Now the crazy thing is that Onkyo back in the day had Odyssey, right? I remember buying the Onkyo because I said, oh, I want Odyssey, and it was the lower versions of Odyssey, but it had it. And then all of a sudden they just switched to their Accu EQ or whatever it was called. And I think from then on, it was kind of downhill from there. And I'm not saying it's because they dropped Odyssey, but to me, that's a big reason to get an AVR is the room correction, because that makes a huge difference in the overall sound. Right? So since then, I've tried various room corrections. I've done my own room correction, but as of right now, my favorite is DIRAC. DIRAC is my favorite. I like the way that it just makes all the speakers sound very cohesive, and that's with speakers that are very different. And so that's pretty hard to do. Yeah, I like DIRAC for various reasons, but one of the main reasons, I did a video comparing Odyssey and what it tries to do to DIRAC and what it tries to do. And, you know, without getting overly complex, because you could get into how it's adjusting for time alignment and phase, which I think it does a better job of. I'm not sure exactly how they do it. I know DIRAC focuses a lot on impulse response. Odyssey may be doing some of that, but they don't really focus on, they don't say that a lot in their marketing. So I don't know if they're doing it or not. They don't tell us exactly how they do everything. So I'm not sure exactly how that works. But the thing that is definitely noticeable to me is with Odyssey, the default reference curve. So they give you a few. They have reference, they have flat, and then they have a left and right bypass, as well as just turning off the curve completely. And what I've found is that the reference curve, which is the default, it's not a target curve that I would want, right? And I don't know if it's changed over the years, right? Flat is also not what I want. What I found on DIRAC that's different is their target curve is at least downward sloping. So for those who are familiar with Floyd Tool's work, basically they've done tests to see what people prefer, what they don't, and basically people prefer a speaker that's flat on axis, but in a room, when you place it in a general room, it typically has a certain response, and that's what people use as a target response. Now, this is not about whether you should have a target response, whether that's the right thing to do or not. Just know that generally the way that these room corrections work is they target a particular curve, right? And a good speaker in a room typically will have a downward sloping curve, right? With a little bit more bass, and then the treble starts to fall off depending on how far you are from the speaker, things like that. But generally, you're getting a downward slope. So you don't want a flat curve. If it's flat, it probably doesn't sound good if it's flat at your listening position. So where am I going with this? My point is that DIRAC has that downward slope that I prefer. Now you can do that with Odyssey now. You can use your editor app and you can do that. It's a little tough because you're not starting off with a flat response to begin with. You're already starting off with their curve. So you kind of have to undo their curve and then you know, put the slope that you want. But with DIRAC, you also can upload your own target curves very easily. And one of the target curves that I use, that I like, that I currently use, is the NAD target curve. And it's very similar to a Harman target. Anyway, that's back to the whole thing is these Onkyos now have DIRAC, right? And like I'm saying, I think just DIRAC just sounds better. I think it does a better job. And I've told the guys at Odyssey that how I felt, you know, I've told them this. And typically you could only get DIRAC in more expensive stuff. So I'm spoiled. I have a NAD T778 that I bought just because of DIRAC. That's the main reason. It has a nice screen, all that cool stuff, all good, but I bought it for DIRAC. That's the reason why I wanted it. Problem with it, I'm actually not using it right now. It's 3 Gs and it's being used in a 2-channel system and it sounds great. I'm using DIRAC. It's awesome, but it doesn't have Auro 3D, which I like. I like Auro 3D. I want both, right? So actually what I'm using in my home theater right now is I have a Denon X4700H that does have Atmos, DTSX, and Auro 3D. But it's using Odyssey and not DIRAC. So I'm actually using a mini DSP DDRC88A so I can use DIRAC on my ear level speakers, and I'm letting Odyssey handle just the height channels. So it's not a perfect system. I got a mix of DIRAC and Odyssey. Back to this. So $3,000 for that NAD T778, $1,000 for the mini DSP DDRC88A that allows me to have DIRAC on pretty much any system. Only 8 channels though, right? I need more than 8 channels. I think I have 12 speakers up and 2 subs. So real quick, let me see if there's any questions in here. Yep. Nate Dog says, I'm going to upgrade my Onkyo soon. I've had since 2018 now, but I wonder when I will start to see new models in stores. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to find out right now, is they've been announced, but whether you can get them or not is a different story. Is DIRAC Live better than the Denon software? I like what DIRAC is doing. I find their software very easy and intuitive. If I change a target curve on DIRAC, it applies it to all the channels. Whereas if I want to apply a target curve in the multi EQ editor app for Denon and Marantz, you have to apply that curve manually. So let's say there's 10 points, right? It's not very easy to get it because it's you know, you have to pick the point and then the gain, you know, how much gain. So it's hard to get accurate on a phone. So let's say you have 10 of them, you have to apply that to all your channels. So your front, left, and right, your center, your side surround, your rear surround, your high channels, your voice of God channel, your sub. You have to apply it to every one of those, and to get them all exactly the same is almost impossible. So it makes more sense the way the DIRAC does it, where you can say, do you want to apply this curve to all of them? Yes or no. Now that's on the app, on the software on the computer, on the Mac that I'm using. They have it for PC also. But they also do have an app for the phone, which I haven't played around with too much. So I can't say how good it is, but Yeah, I can't say anything about that. I haven't tried it too much. What questions we got here? I see Tim Perry's in the house. Thank you so much for the super chat. I agree about DIRAC, Joe. It's amazing the Onkyo can come in at this price. Exactly, right? That is super exciting. And, you know, I have to give a shout out to my buddy FOMO, because he's the one who actually encouraged me to try this out. You know, he's like, man, I don't know why nobody's talking about this or making a big deal out of it. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I think it's because, you know I would have been very excited about this, you know, being able to get something awesome at a low price. But I think, you know, I can speak for myself in saying I'm a little bit spoiled. I'm spoiled because I get to play with a bunch of toys, and at a certain point you're almost like, ugh, not another AVR, like, you know, another thing to test. So I apologize for that, you know. I need to gain perspective once in a while and say, you know what, that is awesome. Around $1,000 and it has DIRAC, that's awesome, right? And the reason why this is all happening is because Onkyo, Pioneer, I think they're somewhat the same, got sold, and now Vox owns them. Vox is the parent company to Klipsch, who else? Yamo, some other brands, but yeah, they have some companies there, and at first I thought they were just doing the distribution, so I'm not sure if that's the case or whether they own them or not. I think they own them, so that's a big deal. Hopefully they're gonna help them, you know, move more product, you know, and hopefully the product is great. What else is going on here? RZ50 has an Aura 3D. Yeah, the rumor is the RZ70 will come out with Aura 3D and DIRAC. Please. And, you know, the funny thing is I get joy out of other people's experiences now. Because I get to play with so many toys, you know, it's more like I get excited when you guys tell me, I just got DIRAC. So Tim, I know that he just got his Arkham, right? Arkham, AV40, I believe. And it has DIRAC, has Oro. And I'm always like, hey man, tell me how it is. How is it? Is it awesome? You know, because that's what I get my joy out of, you guys having fun. You know, I'm having my fun, right? So that's how it is. I'm glad Onkyo is giving us DIRAC Live because Onkyo isn't so pricey and you get the software out of the box. Man, you know, I really think that the few things that we're talking about, right? AVRs, we expect them to do certain things. We expect them to amplify the sound. We expect them to have HDMI that's working. I know Onkyo had some issues back in the day with their HDMI boards. I didn't have an issue. I think I had an Onkyo that had like a whine, have like a high pitched whine. But yeah, for the most part, I had a pretty good experience with the Onkyo AVRs. They get hot. They would actually get pretty hot, but overall, I thought they sounded good. I didn't have any issues with mine. So yeah, it was the budget brand back in the day, right? It was like, I remember Onkyo being the one, like, if you couldn't afford the Denon, you just got the Onkyo, you know? So I don't know if that's how it is now. Let's see here. Remember that home theater in the box? Kind of off topic. Onkyo home theater in the box? THX one? I think it had like white cones. I think I had that. It was all right, but still a home theater in the box, so you know, it is what it is. Nothing great. Let's see, what else are you guys saying? Yeah, sub out on the RZ50 is parallel. You'll need another DSP to do speakers multi-sub. You know, I don't worry about that too much. I know a lot of people make a big deal about like, oh, it only has one sub output. I'm using a Denon X4700H, has 2 subwoofer outputs. My NAD T778 only had 1 sub output. For the most part, it doesn't matter too much because if you really want to get good control of your subs, you're going to want to use a mini DSP 2x4 HD, something like that, where you can have a single in and then have multiple subwoofer outputs, and you can actually do a lot more EQ. Like, for example, on the Denon, all it's really doing is level matching the 2 subs. So if you see sub 1, sub 2, it's level matching them. It's and then it's summing them and making them as if they're one subwoofer, and then applying EQ to the sum of both of them. It's not doing anything super advanced where it's like applying EQ to one and the other and try to make it so you have less seat-to-seat variation. It's not doing any of that fancy stuff like multi-sub optimizer does. That it's a free software multi-sub optimizer, which you can use with a mini DSP. So the point being, 2 sub outputs, I don't see a big deal, right? It level matches them. You could kind of do that, you know. Just make sure that the 2 subs are level before you go to do the calibration. I don't know. Never thought that was a huge deal. You know, use a splitter, whatever. Not a huge deal to me. What else are you guys saying over here? What are you saying over here? Scored my Onkyo TX-RZ50 new for 450. Okay. James Coleman, I wonder when they will come out with the new flagship Pioneer Elite. Yeah, I've never tried Pioneer. I know they had that weird room correction, MCACC. How are you supposed to say that? Macaque? Yeah. I don't know how they come up with those. At least make it catchy. If it's coming with Oro 3D, that would be freaking awesome, because we don't only just want DTSX. I'm an Oro 3D fan. You know me. They joke that every time I go live, I'm always talking about either Oro 3D or binaural, and it's true. Those things are awesome to me, so I can't help but talk about them. The third one's probably DIRAC. So those 3. What else are you guys saying in here? If coming, okay, your Onkyo drank too much. My first surround sound system was an old home theater box. That's what's up. Life of Bliss. What's going on, Kyle? So Life of Bliss, I've only used 1 sub output. Got to get that mini DSP HD. Yes. Another inexpensive one that you can try out is also iDSP. So just another alternative there. Let's see, Walters, any updates on the shipments? No, I don't know. Yeah, I'm all here on their website. Let's see. If I click on view product, this is crazy. Out of stock. I wonder how many sales they're losing by not being in stock. Am I in the way? There we go. That's crazy. Oh, I see Technodad in here, and I'll get to you in a second. I'm running a mini DSP with my X4300H with my subs. Magical Paradise says, my question is, where the hell is the processor? Technodad says, buy one, I dare you. Buy one. Why am I going to buy one? What would I personally use that for? If I buy one, it would just be to review it for you guys. But Youthman says it's not a good idea for me to buy stuff and return it. That's not very cool. So I would have to find somebody like a dealer to say, hey, you know what? If you'll send me one, then I'll mention you guys or something like that. So that'll probably be the way that I do it. Or I guess Clip sends me stuff. So if they own them, okay, I know who to contact. I'll ask about it. So no Technodad, I'm not gonna buy one. I'll try to review one, but I don't want to own one. I just don't have any use for it. My $3,000 AVR is being used as a 2-channel receiver right now. That's sad. It's not right. Let's see here. Matt Buckmaster, tell us about multi-sub optimizer for the mini DSP. I have one, but I haven't tackled it yet. Oh man, I think that's probably beyond the scope of this. And also, I haven't used it myself, so I can't say anything. I know how it works and what it's trying to do. I hear Oro 3D is better than Atmos. Nate Dogg. Okay, so it's a personal thing. So I like what Oro 3D does to all my content. Mono, stereo, not binaural, by the way. Out of all the things, not binaural. My binaural recordings, it doesn't do something good with that. I'd rather hear it in stereo. But even native Dolby Atmos content, I'm upmixed to Oro. I find that it sounds better to me. Yeah, I think you have to try it for yourself. And also another thing to keep in mind is that an Oro layout is different than an Atmos layout. Atmos layout, for the most part, they're telling you to put ceiling speakers at certain angles that are real high up. But an Oro layout is using height speakers on your front or side, definitely your front. You need those, and then either side heights or rear heights. Right? So you can go with either one. I have rear heights, and what I found is Atmos content, if I play it in Atmos, still sounds good on that layout. DTS:X content still sounds good on that layout, and of course native Oro content sounds really good on that layout. But conversely, I found that with an Atmos layout with ceiling speakers, Oro content does not sound good. It just doesn't sound right. You can't get the correct effect. So I feel like you can play it safe by using front and rear heights. And I made a video about that, and I linked to a PDF that shows you how to do that. So that's just my opinion on that. And unfortunately, this Onkyo does not look like it has... No, this doesn't have it. I'll get out of the way here. Yeah. IMAX, THX, okay. Yeah, no Oro. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully the rumors are correct that the other one will have both DIRAC and Oro. Binaural 3D Joe. Okay. Techno Dad's in the house. Yes. October 15th. What's October 15th? James Coleman says MACAC stands for Multi-Channel Acoustic Calibration System. Thank you. Can you just use a mini DSP 10x10 for Denon? I don't know too much about that particular unit. Does that have DIRAC? Life of Bliss says new studio is fire, by the way. Thank you. Love the 40s detective lamp. I like that. I thought it was a banker's lamp because, you know, I don't know. That's what I've heard. Like, these are the types of lamps that I see in those in a library, you know. I guess a detective lamp is good too, because anytime they're gonna go and like try to find out something, they didn't have the internet in those old movies. They had to go to the library and like figure stuff out, and they always had lamps like these. But yeah, thank you. I'm wondering how the RZ50 pre-outs compare to the Yamaha and Denons. I know Gene with Audioholic is testing a new Yamaha, and hopefully they can get their hands on these too. All right, so let me just say something. I have a Yamaha tab open, you know. See, I was planning on looking at those things too. So here's the thing. I have a Yamaha, what is it? AS501 2-channel amp, and I think it's really cool. It's silver, has an old school look. I think it sounds good. I'm happy with it, right? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can get with their AVRs, just because YPOW, I've had experience with the old YPOW, not impressed at all, right? No. Maybe their new stuff is much better, but they don't send stuff out. And so, I don't know. I have a weird thing when I ask a company like, hey, company, I want to talk about your products because I want to help people understand how they work, things like that. And, you know, they're nearby. They're nearby me. And I know people who work there, and it's kind of just so hard to get a hold of it. It's a personal thing. It's a personal bias that, you know, I shouldn't have one, but I got to be honest, and that's what it is. You know, you got to make it easy for me. I want to review their stuff, but if they're not going to make it easy, well, you know, I can review many other things, you know. So that's what it is. But they might be great. I know some of these, I think some of them have Oro. I just can't get with the room correction. I think for me, room correction is a big deal because the room correction will determine the overall sound. Unless you're going to bypass it all, completely, then it almost doesn't matter, you know, from a standpoint of audio, right? Because I'm not a huge believer in that, like, the amps are going to make a huge difference in sound. They shouldn't. Maybe they do, but for the most part, if it's a well-designed amp, I don't believe that it's going to color the sound, like, you know, make a huge difference in the sound, right? But the room correction does make a huge difference in sound. It changes the levels of each speaker. It changes the phase, the crossover. It determines, you know, just basically the EQ. So we all buy our speakers because we like the way they sound, right? And so if you're gonna use room EQ and you're gonna allow it to run full range, right? Correct the entire speaker, it's gonna change the sound of that speaker. I'm hoping that they're gonna change it for the better. For the most part, almost all of them, except, you know, arguably DIRAC, all sometimes change it for the worse. And some people even think that DIRAC changes it for the worse. And it depends. It depends. If you have some really good speakers, then it's almost like they don't have anything to try to fix, right? Unless your room is terrible. So anyway, yeah. We have some of the Yamahas here that I'm looking at. I just don't know too much about these guys. That's the truth about it, is really not that, oh, I hate Yamaha. It's more that I just don't know about these. I don't have very much experience with them, so I'm not qualified to talk about these. Not, you know, I haven't tried them. The 2-channel one though, I do like. So if it's somewhere like that, if it's the same, then maybe it's good. I just don't know. But Denon, I have a lot of experience with. Yeah, I've had the X4000W. That was 4000. It was one of the first. No, X4100W. It's one of the first ones with Atmos. And that one, you used to have to pay extra $200 or something like that to get Oro. I didn't pay it because I didn't know what it was. Like, why would I want that? Now going back, I should have got it. But yeah, so what's competitive right here? So the Onkyo, we're looking at $13.99 for the RZ50. $13.99. So that's around the same price range as this X3700H. So I know a lot of people would probably want to look at, like, oh, you know, I'm not looking at it. I know a lot of people are going to want to know, like, oh, which one has the better power ratings? And that makes sense, you know. You're going to want to look at the power. 9 channels. It's hard for me to determine whether it's real wattage or not. I don't have the equipment to test that. So there it is, X3700H. Now is this one? I think these might be in stock. $14.99. Okay, Techno Dad, got to take off. That's good, because if he were here, then he'd probably try to sell everybody on his Denon stuff. Like, hey, hit me up. Oh, he already did. Did he? Oh, okay. He said 10/15/21 in stock date for new Onkyo AVRs. All right, thanks. He's up on this stuff. What else is going on here? Prefer Denon sound over Onkyo since Denon sounds fuller. Don't know if it's you or not. So Nate D, oh, just 1G. All right. Nate Dog, it depends, right? So I think the accurate way to test that would be if you had them both in pure direct, like with no processing whatsoever. If you change your speakers out and they sounded different, then you can make that come to that conclusion. But if they're both using different room correction, it could be the room correction, right? By the way, earlier today I got to talk on the phone with Dr. Floyd Toole. That was so awesome. Talked to him for 45 minutes. Man, he's super cool. So anyway, that was a highlight of my day. It's a new app. Okay. Let's see here. Do you rather have... Oh, okay. Here we go. Here's the tough questions. James asks, hey, Joe, you rather have DIRAC with Atmos versus Oro 3D with Odyssey? Hold on a second. Stressing me out. DIRAC with Atmos or Oro with Odyssey? Huh. Okay, hold on. All right. I'll be honest. I think I'd rather have it. It's very close, but I'd rather have DIRAC with Atmos. Yep. Yep. And the reason being that I feel like DIRAC does such a great job of blending the subs to the main speakers, doing the time alignment, and just the experience that I have when I use DIRAC is just that the speakers don't no longer draw attention to themselves. I don't think of the left speaker or the right speaker. It's just more like when you're sitting in the main listening position, all the speakers just blend together. Right? And so I think that's super cool. And then when you're integrating a sub, you don't hear speaker and sub. You just hear speakers with more bass, right? And it does a great job of that, you know? And I think to me that is more important. If you don't get that part right, if that's not correct, then any up mixer that you use is gonna be flawed, right? It's not gonna be as good. So yeah, I think the basics are that you have to get that part right. Yeah, that's tough though. That's the fact that I had to think about that goes to show that it is a tough decision. Okay. Let's see what else. Do you know if they'll ship to Canada? I don't know. There's not much that I do know about this, to be honest. I was actually gonna just test out this live streaming. FOMO gave me the idea. It's like, hey, how come you don't talk about this new stuff? I'm like, all right, let's talk about it then. No problem. So I didn't come fully prepared. I'll just tell you that. Is DIRAC full range or bass only? Great question, Randy. I would guess DIRAC Live. Let's see here. DIRAC Live room correction. I wonder. Okay, state of the art digital room correction. Okay. Third party USB mic, so you can use a U mic 1. Not included. Okay, here it goes. Let's see. Unlocks your loudspeaker in any listening space. Delivers a uniquely pristine listening experience. It doesn't really say. So what he's referring to, we'll look some more here. What he's referring to is that there are two versions of DIRAC on, let's say, on the NAD. It comes with a version of DIRAC where it'll correct anything from, I think it's 500 hertz and below, right? So any of the bass frequencies. And a lot of people would argue that that's actually where you need the most help. You need the most help in the bass frequencies below what they call the transition or Schroeder frequency. Above that, a lot of people would say, let the speakers do whatever they're gonna do. And for the most part, I would agree with that. But if you do want it to run full range, I think, how much was the other one? $100 maybe? 100, 200 bucks? I forget how much the upgrade was. Hold on a second. Let's take a look. NAD T778 DIRAC upgrade. Oh, there's my video. Okay. T77. Okay, available licenses. All right, so full bandwidth correction is, how much are you? 99 bucks. Okay, so nothing crazy. I'm assuming because of the price here that you'd probably have to pay. I'm not seeing any things here that say specifically. I wish companies would be less afraid to just be upfront. You know, because if that's the case, then say so. If it's not, if it's just full range the whole way, then that's awesome. I hope it is, but I don't know. Let's see, anywhere here? No. General? Nope. Features? Okay, here we go, maybe here. No. Nothing. All right. Shall we go over some of these features? Shall we go over some of this and see what's interesting on the RZ50? Real quick, let me just answer a few more questions and we'll do that. Walter Vasquez says, I ordered my RZ50 from Audio Advice September. Since they advertised shipping in October, now they say shipping in November. Go figure. Not cool. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm just reading through these questions. No longer draw attention. Okay. Can you still have Oro 3D with the mini DSP 8x8? James asked. And the answer is yes. You can. Well, mini DSP 8x8. I have the DDRC88A, and so it doesn't know what I'm processing, right? It's just correcting the speaker, so it has no idea that I'm processing Atmos or Oro. It just takes a signal and then, you know, it makes the corrections to the speakers that it needs to correct, but it has no idea. Magical Paradise, see you later. $99, full range. Okay, yes. No, so Nate, they don't mean that the sound is full range. They mean that the correction for DIRAC, on the NAD before you get the upgrade, will only correct up to 500 hertz. It's not going to correct up to 20 kilohertz. What's up, Larry? Okay, full range. Okay, all right, cool. So hopefully I've answered most of those. So here it is. Let's take a look at this together here. How big did it? Okay, so $13.99. Should we look at the less expensive or more expensive one first? Let's look at the less expensive one first. NR7100 9.2 channel THX certified. Okay. $10.99. Out of stock. Great. Why are we talking about this if it's out of stock? I don't know. Let's see what you can potentially have. Okay. Musical staging, clarity, dialogue. Who writes this stuff? Does this sell you guys too when you read this? Brings new meaning to the phrase home movie night. Is that what people say? You want to have a home movie night? Okay. 5.1.4 Dolby Atmos immersive surround experience. 3 HDMI out. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into the video stuff because that gets into a different space. I'll let Techno Dad and FOMO and whoever does TV stuff. I'll let them take care of that. I'll take care of the audio. Okay. All right. DIRAC room correction. We already read that, so it's cool. I'm assuming they're gonna give you a mic because you can use a third-party USB mic. Okay. Discrete Zone 2 HDMI switching. Okay. IMAX Enhanced. So I have tried IMAX Enhanced, and it's pretty cool. It just sounds like you better have speakers that can handle it, because it seems like it's trying to make all the speakers run full range, or at least it kind of sounds like that. It's trying to get more out of all the speakers. Which can be dangerous. I'm sure that they have some stuff built in where if it's crossed over at 80, it's not going to let the height speaker play, 40. I'm sure it's doing that, but it's definitely pushing those to a limit, right? Whereas I think maybe in an Atmos mix, maybe they know, like, you know what? Don't even bother putting in bass in those channels, because most people are going to cut it off at a certain range. Whereas I think they're going to just say, try it, and whatever that speaker can do, let it try to do it. I've done some IMAX Enhanced demos, and like you can hear, like, there's just more bandwidth going to those speakers. So yeah, it's cool. I don't know how much stuff is gonna have IMAX Enhanced, but Enhanced Gaming, I'm not gonna touch that. If you guys are into that sort of stuff, you do your own research, because I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. Stream your favorite music. Okay, so this is interesting. Works with Sonos One, Chromecast built in, AirPlay 2, DTS Play-Fi. Okay. I'm not sure their implementation because I can just say with Denon, it's pretty like old school. Like it's not great. That's the one thing I really liked about the NAD is they have the Blue OS and their app is really like pretty slick. Not as slick as the Sonos app. Sonos is definitely the best out of all of them. But yeah, that's one thing that these companies I hope they work on. So I don't know what Onkyo has. If they have a nice app, that'll be cool. The fact that it works with Sonos One, I'm wondering if it just works with their Sonos app. So if you have other Sonos speakers, can you play it on your main system and your Sonos? That would be cool. If you're playing a movie, let's say, or you know, anything, you're playing some video content, and if you're in the kitchen, can you play it on Sonos speakers over there? I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. But a lot of times these guys will say that, you know, I'm sure this is gonna say, where is it? There it is. I don't want to say the names, but here, this, right? And Google works with Google. Is this it? Works with Google? Yeah. Works with your smart. Yeah. So a lot of times those don't really work very well. You have to tell it, hey, blah blah blah. Tell the Onkyo to do this. It's convoluted. It's not really well integrated. So I always laugh when they say that they can do that sort of stuff. Maybe this is different, but I doubt it. You know, if you think about it, what these companies really need to work on is how to make it a smooth experience, right? So if you were to tell your Google Home device to play music, it just goes and plays it, right? That's it. Done. It doesn't turn off, right? It's always just ready to listen and play some music. Whereas with almost any AVR, that's probably going to be one of your best systems. Can you tell it to just play music, or do you have to worry about it being on? Oh, is it on? Oh, hold on a second. Let me turn it on. Okay, now say what you want to say. You know, it's kind of weird. They should make it so you can just talk into the remote, have it play. It's crazy. I think that's the sort of stuff that they need to work on nowadays, right? They should have that stuff. All right, THX certified select theater reference sound. I don't know what that means. Okay, so same reference volume of a commercial theater in rooms where the screen's seat-to-seat distance is about 12 feet. I don't know what that is. Guarantees the same reference volume of a commercial. Okay, so are they saying it gets loud enough? Okay. I guess that's good. It's a good way to put it. Rune, I haven't gotten a chance to play with Rune too much, but I know a lot of audiophiles like Rune. So, plays to thousands of USB. Okay. Rune tested. I know that they have different versions of Rune. So, Rune tested is, I think, different from some of their Rune certified and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Stereo height channel flexibility. Set the mood for your next gathering by using height or surround speakers to ensure sound is distributed evenly throughout the room by being able to move the stereo sound to height speakers. Is that a feature? Like, I didn't know that was something special. Because on Denon, they do have that option to choose, what is it? Multi-channel stereo. And then in the settings, you can choose to allow it to go to height channels. So I guess others can't do that? Okay, so this can do that. Yeah, I guess that's cool. If you want to do, if you want to put stereo on your height and ceiling speakers, you can. All right, so that's the real stats here. 200. Okay, that's probably not the real one. 100 watts per channel, 8 ohms, 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz at 0.08 total harmonic distortion. 2 channels driven. What? I want to know all. You know, you buy this AVR, don't you want to use all the channels? Let me see their other specs. Okay, so it has Dolby Atmos Height Virtualizer, which means that if you have normal speakers and you want to virtualize the height speakers without bouncing something off the ceiling, it kind of can virtualize. All right. I mean, it's something to try and play around with. I don't know how well it works, but, you know, I'm sure not as good as having actual ceiling speakers. But if it does something and it makes it sound a little bit more interesting, then, you know, try it out. DTS Virtual X 3D sound, virtualization, so more virtualization stuff. Stream over 5 gigahertz 2.4, dual band Wi-Fi. Send or receive audio via bidirectional Bluetooth wireless technology. Okay, so hopefully that means that you can use this with Bluetooth headphones. And obviously you can stream to it from your phone via Bluetooth. AirPlay 2, Chromecast built in. Okay, so that's kind of handy. Onkyo controller. Should we look at what this looks like? Let's see what they got here. Can't tell. Maybe on this one. There we go. Oh, so let's see. What can you do here? Oh, okay. So it looks promising. That's a wide play bar. Maybe that's just this. Tidal, Deezer. You know, that's another video I want to make, which is like, what streaming service should you use if you want, you know, lossless streaming, I guess, or I don't want to say high res, but high quality streaming. I've actually tried a lot of these. I have Qobuz too. I find Deezer, it's like it's popular, I think, in the UK, but this one is almost on everything that I've seen, and it has a lot of tracks, and it sounds good, and it has all kinds of cool features with the lyrics and all that, smooth. Yeah, I think that's the one. Let's see what else they got. Fine, okay. All right, not bad. Not bad. You know, it's interesting also. I'm assuming they use the DIRAC app. DIRAC Live. So let's see how that looks. Yeah. I should play around with that and see how it works. Okay. All right. Shall we look at some specs real quick too here? What is their claim? Dynamic power. Where's the real wattage? How about that? That's what we want to know. See, all these are always 2 channels driven. You want to know what they are with all channels driven, I guess. But let's say if they're claiming 100 watts, let's just say it's safe to say it's less than that when all the speakers are playing. Phono input, is that what I saw here? Tone control, all right, so that's good. Frequency response. Okay, you can use 4-ohm speakers. Good, good, good. Man, look at this. 220 watts of THX certified select dynamic audio amplification. If there's too many words there, then you know it's probably not real. All right, stop all that. Man, just stop all this. Select dynamic audio when it's rolling downhill. Silly. What else? So what is the difference? I guess the next question is, what's the difference between this and the more expensive version? RZ50, 9.2 channels. So this one's $13.99. The other one, what, $10.99? $300. Let's see. Trying to figure out what the difference is. You know, usually what it is, it's most of the time it's more power. All right. So this one is claiming 120 watts instead of 100 for the other one. Any other features that are 11.2 channel processing? What was the other one? Maybe I should have the other one open. New tab. Yeah, so yeah, he says 11 channel processing versus this one. What happened? Okay, so this one does processing. No pre-out. So I would like to see the back of this. Is that possible? Gallery. There it is. So 11.2 channels of processing on this one. And this one shows nothing, right? Play-Fi. I've actually used that. I've used Play-Fi on the SVS. It's decent. It's decent. I wouldn't say that it's better than they're definitely not better than the Sonos as far as ease of use. Yeah, see, smart home requires third-party AI-compatible smart home devices with microphone. How inexpensive is it to actually put a microphone in these things in the remote? You know, if they can do it in a $30, you know, Google Home device, pretty sure it wouldn't be too much to implement it in something like this. They need to really step up their game with that sort of stuff. You know, people want to just talk to their systems to play music. Make it easy. What other differences are we looking at? So pre-outs, which is handy if you want to upgrade this in the future, use your own amplifiers. Power amplifiers. I don't see very many other differences. Sleek appearance. Yeah. What are you guys saying in here? You guys are usually more informative than this stuff here. What are you guys saying? RZ50 has pass-through, so you can use powered speakers or separate amp. All right. No preamp. It's only a 9-channel AVR. Yeah. What are you saying here? I've used Tidal, Amazon, HD, and now Apple lossless. I've dropped Tidal. Love the other two. Just wish Helios didn't suck. Yeah, it's not great. Come on, guys. Got to work on that. But yeah, I'm using Apple right now because I'm testing out testing out their spatial audio stuff and their Atmos tracks. It's all right. It's all right. Right. The RZ line. So James says the RZ line is more premium using bigger transformers. Okay. Yeah, so probably just going to get more power. So overall, instead of getting too technical, I'm sure if you're interested in buying this, you're going to look through all the specs. You should look through all the specs. The main thing that I wanted to just focus on is, how does it compare to something like this Denon, right? So Denon is established. Odyssey, with all its quirks, you still have your Odyssey editor app. With all its quirks, it still works. All these products they're pretty reliable. They're pretty solid. And the good thing is there's a lot of information about them because so many people have them. You can pretty much go on any forum, ask a question, and somebody there is going to know the answer to it. So there is that. It has that going for it. But again, Helios leaves a lot to be desired, right? But you can go with this. Oro 3D on this one? No. So this one also, that's the other thing, is Denon and Marantz do have Oro 3D, but only on, I think, 4700H and above. So $2,000 and above. Then this is the one I have. You step up to this, then you get 9.2 channels. The other thing that I like about the Denon, though, is it does have that dedicated preamp mode, which I'm using right now, and just use the power amps that I have. So that's cool that you have that option. I find that it does run cooler when I have it in that mode. So yeah, they do have tough competition, right? But I'm curious to know how many people are gonna switch, or let's say if they have an older Denon, right? Older Denon has Odyssey, has all these things. How many people do you think, instead of upgrading to a later, newer version of a Denon, right? Let's say they have one that's maybe 4 or 5 years old. Realistically, I don't think people change their AVRs out that often. So let's say they have an X4000, has Dolby Atmos, has ability to use Oro. It has, what does it have? It has Oro Atmos. It has Odyssey, multi-EQ XT32. It has all those things, but it doesn't have like 4K HDR support, something like that. It's mostly like video stuff that you'd want to upgrade. If you're like me and you have a projector, those move so slowly also that you probably wouldn't notice a huge difference. But yeah. So let's say if you have one like that, right? And you're like, you know what? I need to upgrade. Let's say I have a 4K TV. I need a newer one. Are you gonna go with, let's say, an X4700H that's 2,000, or something like this RZ50 for $1,399? So that's a big savings, right? Most of the time, people probably wouldn't even shop these two because it's, you know, some people might, but for the most part, they're probably more likely gonna be comparing the X3700H. And so in that case, that one doesn't have Oro, and it's Odyssey versus DIRAC, and now it's just the Denon feature set versus the Onkyo feature set. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a tough one. In that case, I would probably, if I didn't know, if everything is equal, and I didn't know, I would probably try the Onkyo. Just for DIRAC. I really would. Now, how about this though? Let's take a look at this one. This one is the $1099, all right, for the NR7100. So you'd be comparing that to this X2700 7.2 channel. Okay. What does this have? Has Dolby Atmos. Definitely no Oro. No pre-out, right? And yeah, versus this one with DIRAC. See, this is what I'm saying. I think DIRAC would make me buy it. Really would. I would go to this just for DIRAC. Yep. This is all things being equal. Like if the HDMI board is dying on this, then of course, you know. I'm just saying it. All else being equal, yeah, I'd probably go for this. Man. So this one doesn't have pre-outs on this version, on the 7100. The RZ50 does have pre-outs at $1,399. On the Denon end, how much do I have to spend in order to get pre-outs? Let's see, 2,700? I think 3,700 we start getting the pre-out. Pretty sure. Yeah. 3,700 pre-outs. I know the 4,700 does because I have it. Back panel. Yeah, those are pre-outs there. Let me see. So 3,700 at $1,499 does. 2,700 back panel. Yeah, no, missing. Yeah. Oh, I wasn't showing my screen the whole time. Sorry. Sorry, I'm new to this. But yeah, I was just looking at this one. So the 2700H doesn't have the pre-outs back here, but the 3700H does. You look at the back panel. So you have to step up to $1,499 to get the same thing. James says, "Hey Joe, if you like the NAD, you can go up to the Master Series, which is modular." Yeah, this T778 is also modular. You can actually switch out the HDMI board. Whether they're gonna come out with something, you know, I've yet to see. I would like for them to just upgrade it and put Oro. If they did that, then I'll be a happy man. Can they do that? James says, so you're using the Denon for home theater and the NAD for 2-channel, yes, and that's crazy. I know. Does the mini DSP have auto setup? The mini DSP actually just has DIRAC built into it. So when you're in the mini DSP, you hit the option to start DIRAC. It opens DIRAC and finds the mini DSP and just runs the whole calibration through there. So the mini DSP is just actually acting as kind of like the computer. Yeah, so Hoger, I think that's how you say your name, says 3700H has pre-outs and 11-channel processing. Yeah, 11 channels. So I think, yeah, this is very competitive. They've done their homework. They know that the 3700H is what they're comparing this thing to. So 9.2 channels, but it also has 11.2 channel processing. 3700H. I keep forgetting. Does it have Oro? Oro? No. Ouch. That's a killer. So yeah, if you're looking for something, if you're looking for a new AVR, I would say if you want, if you want Oro, you're gonna have to step up to the 4700H. Man, yeah, it's tough. It's hard, you know. It's one of those things where you have to just, sometimes you gotta spend money in order to get all the things you want. Like right now, I'm even looking at the Monoprice HTP1. It's like what, 4Gs, and that will give me DIRAC Live with DIRAC Live bass control, DLBC, and it has Oro 3D, you know, has all of it. But I have to spend 4Gs, you know. So we're talking about $13.99 for this. Got to spend 4Gs on that thing. Ugh, yeah, it's rough. But it does all the things I want. So I don't know. I think for most people, this is gonna be, if everything works, I think this is a good buy here. DIRAC for this price, I think what a lot of people are gonna find is that DIRAC is gonna help their system sound better. You know, a lot of times, you know, of course, upgrading your speakers to the best speakers you can get, getting a subwoofer, room, you know, placement, all that stuff matters. But if you've already done all that, I think DIRAC will at least get the most out of your current speakers. I think it'll do that. Tim says the Onkyo AVR manual has pictures of DIRAC being used. You know, that's a good thing to do. So let's take a quick look at this manual. Oh, it's 11:18. And you guys are staying up with me late. I should be editing a video, actually. I should be editing my my Valencia theater seating video. But I'm hanging out with you guys and testing this. So thank you guys, by the way. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for answering some of these questions. I know this is not, you know, polished and all that, but I'm just testing and trying out different things. So thank you for hanging in there. What were we looking at now? Oh, the manual. Let's take a look at the manual. You know what I might do is I might take this video and cut it up into pieces that are more useful, let's just say. Somebody else does that. Who does that for us on Daily Hi-Fi? Oh yeah, that's Tim. Thank you, Tim, again, for doing all that. You're awesome. Gallery docs, instruction manual. Oh, you know what? I'm interested in it. Firmware. What kind of firmware updates do we have? Allow. Oh, there's already a firmware update. Oh, let's see what they're fixing. What? Oh, yeah. I heard about this. Klipsch optimized mode has been added. I guess they have preset calibrations because they're owned by the same parent company. They know what the measurements of these speakers are, and I think they have it set up to I guess optimize for those particular speakers. You know, when I was talking to Dr. Floyd Toole today, he was talking about how much better room correction would be if you had the spinorama data from like a clipple of each speaker. Because if you know what the speaker does in an anechoic chamber, or, you know, whatever, you know, anechoically, then you can do a better job of room correction because, yeah, because you know what the actual speaker is doing. Whereas right now, when you do room correction, it has no idea what your speakers do, what they can do, what they're capable of doing. It might make a correction where it can cause your speaker, maybe there's a dip, maybe it overcorrects and it'll clip, you know. So not knowing about the response of the speaker has a lot of issues associated with it. It can cause overcorrection, you know. It might try to fix stuff with the speaker that's unfixable. So that's kind of cool. Clips optimized mode. What else? Virtual remote limit mode. HMI. Okay. Fixes problem. Color corruption on Dolby Vision games. You know, this is a good idea. If you're really looking into buying something pretty expensive, look at the updates. Look at the firmware fixes. You know, it's a kind of gives you a hint as to where the issues may lie. And also, if they're fixing them, right? What's scary is even, you know, if there are issues and they're not fixing them, not addressing them. That's a scary thing. Firmware update, okay. Speaker layout. What are we looking at? The RZ50, okay. So we're looking at the manual here. Let me get my face out of here. 166 to 167. Tim is on top of things here, huh? Let's take a look at DIRAC. What does it say? $166 and 67. Man, this is a manual, huh? It's a book. It's like Floyd Toole's book right here. 166. Okay. I feel like there's a better way to do that. Okay, so here we go. Using DIRAC Live. Okay. Ooh, look at this. Yeah, that looks cool. Set up mic. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find out whether it says here if it's only limited to 500 hertz unless you get an upgrade. Anybody know that? Gray stripe, do I sleep? Yeah, I sleep. I love sleep. When I can get it. Oh, I see you. Alito 7. Yeah, Swirling Dragon says Command F to open a find page. You know what? I actually know this, but I'm nervous right now. I'm nervous because I'm live streaming. I only do this every Monday, so I got Tim watching here. Scary. But he does say 167 shows high then. Okay. So I'm on page 167. Okay. What am I looking at here? So this is the range. Quick menu. Yeah, I don't see anything here that says that it's limited to 500 hertz. Anything? Anything? Nope. Yeah, I don't see where it's limited. So this might, if this is full 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, that's gonna be a big deal. Because usually you have to pay 99 bucks to get that. Oh, I see what you're saying. So Tim is saying it's showing that higher than 500 hertz is being used. Wow. All right. So if that's the case, that's pretty awesome. That's awesome. Does the chart go higher? Okay. I see what you're saying, Tim. You're a smart man. Basically, he's saying that the manual is showing that it's correcting above 500 hertz, which means that it's able to do that. Does it say, let me look up Command F. See, I know how to do it. Command F, license. Now, can I spell license? Upgrade. All right, so if there's no license or upgrade in this manual, oh, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Now onto Yamaha. These are their AVRs, and let's go ahead and go back to Onkyo. Yeah, guys. I don't know what else you guys want to know. We're learning together, so I don't have these, into test, so I don't know. I can't tell you much more than what I see here, and it seems like a lot of you guys know a lot more about this stuff. So maybe you guys are doing some research. You're interested in something like this. Where I can help is more in that I do have a good amount of experience comparing DIRAC to Odyssey, and I can definitely say I prefer DIRAC. Whether you should switch over because of DIRAC, it's gonna depend. It's gonna depend on what you have. If you have an old AVR that, let's say you need to upgrade it, right? Because you're not getting 4K or something, it's old, right? Maybe it doesn't even have Dolby Atmos, who knows? If that's the case, I would like to see people try DIRAC. I really would love to see more people try it, and let me know what you guys think. Anybody in the comments here, any of you guys, if you have DIRAC or have tried DIRAC, what has your experience been? And I'm not talking about the trial that, on your speakers, because they used to do a trial where you could, test it on your computer speakers, and it was good. You can get a taste of what it does there, but I'm talking about like on your AVR. I found that it was more impressive not with the 2-channel stereo stuff, but more when you got into tricky situations with multiple speakers. Right? My experience is that with Odyssey, it gets all the speakers sounding equal levels, but you can definitely tell that's the left channel, that's the right, center. You hear all the different channels. That's good. With DIRAC, it sounds just like a ball, like you're surrounded with sound. And that's my experience, and much easier to tune to your particular target curve. So yeah, if you're looking to upgrade, I would say maybe wait for some of the reviews of this, right? Maybe there's some huge issues and like stuff that's just like deal breakers, You have to watch out for that sort of stuff. But if everything works, right, these look like great deals, right? I hope I can get one from the folks at Klipsch, I guess, at Vox. Maybe I can get one of these. Anyway, that's all I really got. You know what? I didn't even touch on the Integra Pioneer. Do they have anything out right now? Let me see. If I type in Pioneer near AVR DIRAC, or is it only Integra stuff? Technically said, you're still here. Well, you're still here? What are you still doing here? That's the question. Don't you have something better to do, like edit some videos or something? Yes, new Pioneer. All right. You know what I take for granted, TechnoDad, is during our live streams, like we have a question, right? And usually somebody has the answer, right? If I don't know, Youthman or you or somebody knows, especially people in the chat, somebody knows the answer. So this is tough. Like right now, I'm like, so what does what? And I actually have to look for the answer. Normally I just ask So who has it? And somebody knows the answer. Anyway, let's see. DIRAC. I asked, by the way, I asked DIRAC to be part of the AV Summit, and they said they're too busy right now. They are just slammed with stuff. Maybe it's this Onkyo stuff that they're doing. Who knows? But hopefully we're gonna have another event in June, and I think they said that they're willing to do that one. Too bad. I always like to hear from the folks at DIRAC. Okay, so Onkyo and Pioneer. What am I clicking on? Oh no, I clicked on an ad. How do I get out of here? Close. How old is this? Okay. Mono price. Pioneer Elite. Elite. Oh, wow. Let's see. Is this one? Wow. They have the same website. You notice that? Here's Onkyo, blue. Look at this button. Pioneer. Okay. Coincidence? Of course not. So, and also out of stock. Okay. So this is the Pioneer VSX LX305 Elite. Let's see what this has. DIRAC Live. Okay, IMAX. Okay. Okay. All this looks very familiar, except we get this. This is what Shauna wants here. He wants the advanced macaque. That's what he's looking for. He says same. Yeah, here. I have to approve your message. Here it is. Same. Room tested. So, is this the same? What are we looking at here? Is this the same? Like literally like the same thing except it says Pioneer and it has their room correction? Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of weird. So so that's that version. Let's see their more expensive stuff then. Integra D. There we go. DRX 5.4. Integra. He says, I bet you find the same at-home movie night slogan on both sides. Let's look for that. At home. Oh, no, it doesn't have... Oh, hold on. Oh, that would have been hilarious, though. Maybe this one. Oh, this one's a different site. What is this? Is this one even new? Okay. So DRX 5.4 9.2 channel. DIRAC Live. That's what I want to see. You notice they put it at the very top, so they know. It's the first thing that they put here. You know, you know what they could have put is Dolby Atmos, but nobody cares about that anymore, right? They expect that. If it doesn't have Dolby Atmos, what kind of speakers they got back here? Klipsch speakers, height virtualizer. So they spent a little more on this one. They have photos on this one. DTSX. Okay, so Josh AI specs. Anything else? Downloads. Okay, anything else? Advanced features. Listening modes. Do they even say Dolby here? Okay, Atmos height. DTSX. No Oro for this price. This is supposed to be 2Gs or something like that. Do they have pictures of the back? Let's see the back. What is it trying to say? Business end? The business side? So there's the pre-outs there. Front, center. Okay, height, surround back. 2 subwoofer. Okay. All right. All right. All right. It's missing the key word though. Oro. Oro 3D. I know a lot of folks are going to say, oh, well, who cares about that? Trust me. Just trust me. You want Oro. You want Oro. And Wilfried, I need a check for all the promoting of Oro that we're doing here in the US. What's up? What happens if all of us just, you know, keep bugging these companies and they end up like, you know what? People keep asking us about Oro. I'm just going to pick it up. You know, they call up Wilfried. All right, how much to get Oro in this receiver? Everybody keeps asking about it. I think Daily Hi-Fi should get a cut. Fat cut. We deserve a piece of that. It's us and all these folks. You're the ones who are doing it. Yeah, they're saying that they don't have the high-end speakers here, even though this is targeted more to high-end stuff. Yeah. All right. Well, it is 11:37. I have to edit a video. I have to work on the AV Summit. I have to message Wilfried at Oro and ask him about what our cut is going to be once these companies start implementing Oro in their systems. What should we ask him for? Like 10%? I think 10%. Yeah. Message him here. 10% Wilfried. There we go. Done. All right, guys. Well, hopefully this works. I'm going to have to watch the stream and see if it was smooth. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hopefully that wasn't too boring because, yeah, just testing stuff out. Anyway, I'm 1:37 over there, Tim. What are you doing? Go to sleep. All right, guys. You guys are awesome. See you guys at the AV Summit. See you guys at, what is it? It's Tuesday, so no Daily Hi-Fi until next week, next Monday. Yeah, I'm going to get back to editing some video. Snooze Fest, yes, Technodad, you are correct. This was the snooziest thing I've ever done for you guys. I apologize. But yeah, see you guys later. See how bad I am at these outros. I can't even, okay, I'm just gonna hit end stream. See you guys later.